Hello everyone, welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. Today we're doing a live build for the beach mansion. There was a few requests for that, and there is a number of requests for other builds. I have taken note of that. So we have live builds that are going to be going up on the channel for the Starbucks, the water park, the massive prison that I built on the island, the cottage. You know the cottage, the one where Gina, a very successful lady who didn't take care of her relationships and family friendships and what have you, and she ended up an old lady alone in a cottage, and then she died, you know, during the course of the life tour. So yes, there's a life build for that one, and it's the same cottage where Princess Moya and her mother have run through the woods and arrived at, and they'll be hiding out there till the search dies down. So yes, that's the one. I'll be doing a live build for that as well. And some of you want live builds for the beauty salon and the boutique. So I've got a few requests from you all, and they will be going up during the course of the week. I realized that I can fill out the week with these live builds and then focus in on the weekend, well, from Friday, with live tours of new builds that I've done or requests from yourselves on what to build, and the Alendi Empire series and Cinderella. Now that's the idea of the structure for the channel going forward. But do realize that things can change because, you know, life happens, I get busy, and, you know, I just put out what I can as time permits. But that's what you can expect to see. A lot of live builds during the course of the week, along with other videos that might contain details of my progress, perhaps when there's a live event going on, and maybe some design tip videos, some glitch videos, tips and tricks and such. But the weekend definitely would be the meaty part of the channel as far as content is concerned. The good thing about having these live builds is that you get to immediately have these houses in your towns and put your Sims in and have fun without having to wait endlessly for the possibility, that is, of seeing these houses on the Architect tab for Sims FreePlay. It's like a lottery system. We are about 4 million or so players, and after we've submitted our very best, only 8 or 9 or 10 max get chosen, and so you could wait a year and never get any of these houses that you like. So the best option would be the live builds that you would see going up on the channel every week. And the other thing is, you can get these houses built by yourselves for a fraction of the actual price that it would have been on the Architect tab. I mean, some houses are going for 20 million simoleons. So it's best to just follow the live builds. As far as the houses that you like from my channel anyway, just follow the live builds, and you would be able to have these in your towns without that much hassle. The other thing is, I was thinking that it would be a great idea if, a little bit like The Sims 4, but just slightly different, in that it would be good if you could visit a neighbor's town in Sims FreePlay, and there would be a blue bubble or whatever color bubble that stands out that suggests that that house is up for sale or it's been submitted. So you can click on it, and the owner would have set a price for however much they think it should go for. And of course there would be a limit, so you can't just ask for, I don't know, 20 million like the Architect tab would. But yes, you can then click on it and download it to your town, and the Sims Free player who built that house gets the simoleons back. So that would be a great way to create some kind of interaction between the Sims Free Play community. And then the other thing is, you get to then direct message each other and say, you know, do you have, say for instance, the All Things Red piano, you know, unique items that you missed out on. Players can then put these into a certain house and then put it up for sale, and you can go to that town and buy it. I think that would be a great idea, and I know that it's a mobile device game, and the idea might be that, well, when it comes to programming this particular feature, it would be near impossible, and so on and so forth. But by the same programming method that allows for you to click on an empty plot and access an Architect tab, we should be able to go to a neighbor's town and click on an actual house and access a sales tab that has a number of houses that Sims Free player would have uploaded to their sales tab, and you can pick one of your choice or the actual one that you've clicked on and download it to your town. In my mind, I think that's possible, and I know I'm not a developer for this game, but it's just in my mind, looking at it that way, it sounds logic. But I know that perhaps our devices are not ready to handle that level of gaming experience, so who knows. We'll see what the game would provide us in the near future, as technology is improving as far as these games are concerned. So anyway, yeah, that would be a great idea, I think. And I think it'll just blow the game out of the water, and individuals will find it a much more rewarding experience. But again, this is just me thinking. It doesn't mean that it's something that could be implemented, certainly not now. There is this question I get quite a lot about how I have so many Sims in my town and how I have so many Sims in one plot. And I do realize that many people are new to the channel, so no matter how many times I say it in a video or in a comment, it doesn't mean that it will get seen. So I do go on to keep on repeating it for those of you who aren't aware as to how that is possible. So basically, about 2 years ago, Greenoid Gemsicles, another channel, she put out a video on how to do a baby glitch. And there was another channel as well, I just don't remember the name, but they did a baby glitch video as well, where you could, by preparing eggs and toast or something like that, you would leave and come back, and a baby would be born again. And you know, it was quite a comprehensive process. I am told that that process doesn't work anymore. There's no way for me to find out if this works, because I already have the maximum number of Sims that I can have, simply because I took away the cot that kept on reproducing these babies. And I did that to control myself, because when I was making these babies, I kept the cot in my concert grounds in the basement. And I would keep going back and forth, and these babies kept popping out of this cot. And I said to myself, you are not going to go past 100 Sims. Make sure you don't go past 100 Sims, because it's incredibly hard to take care of them, you know. And I did that glitch way before we had the VIP reward system. So reason why I've mentioned the VIP reward system is because in the VIP reward system, you get these cakes that allow you to gain, I think, 15 slices of cakes is what I get now anyway. I don't remember what the earlier ones were, but as a VIP 10, I get 15 slices of cakes every day, and one cake would keep your sim inspired for 24 hours. So that's great. So I just have to go into my list, click on them all, and give them all cakes. And you can give them as many cakes as you want. Well, in my case, I can give them 5 cakes or 6, so that way for 5 days I don't need to do anything with them, and they'll always be sparkling all over. So certainly then I said I couldn't do more than 100 Sims, and then I placed all these inspiration fish down in the basement, and I would take care of them that way, because I got another question asking how do you take care of that many Sims, and so I would get them, click on all those fishes and get them to get refreshed, but then after a few minutes they start going down again. So it was really hard, and then I decided to then keep them doing some kind of hobby, and that keeps them inspired for much longer. And I would then not do anything with them for weeks and just leave them trapped at the hobby, asking me to click on them, and I won't until I really needed to use them for something, and then they'd all pee, and that was awful. So it wasn't all fun. But certainly when the VIP 10 reward system came in for me, the inspiration cakes were a big relief, and that's how I take care of them all. So I said that I wasn't going to have more than 100 of those Sims, and then I finally concluded at 101. And it was so hard to get rid of that cot, because I thought, once I take off this cot, that's it. I will never be able to place down a cot and click and say, you know, have a baby, because it was to have the maximum number of Sims in my town. So I'm never going to be able to go back and check and see if that glitch still works. There's just no way for me to find out. But that is how I have that many Sims in my town. And I know I've gone about explaining that in a long-winded way, but that's how I got that many Sims. And then what I did was give them birthdays, and I left, I think, about 6 as babies, I think. No, 3 babies. I have 3 babies in my town, and then quite a few toddlers, quite a few preteens, and then I aged them up to teens and adults and then seniors, so that I had a good variety, and made sure that every single one of them is engaged in some kind of hobby. So all my hobbies are complete, and they are all busy every day, making me life points. I have 37 life points, as you can see in the video, because I use those life points. I keep spinning the free social point seed, and that seed has earned me 3,473 social points, as you can see. But sometimes I use up the seeds and I go on to use the life points. It costs 20 life points to spin that social point wheel, and the last time I spun the wheel and I got the 500 social points, that was with the 3 grasshoppers. Is it? No, it's not the grasshoppers, it's pumpkins. When I got the 3 pumpkins, I had used the LP, and then it went down because I had about 100 and something LP, and I'd spun that wheel a few times using life points, and then I just kept the life points, and I've carried on working with my Sims to gain LP. Why am I acquiring that much social points? Because I know that when the next event comes up and we've got to keep on picking endlessly at the candle maker, the glass maker, the jewel maker, and the pottery stand, I am just going to blaze through like a hot knife through a candle, honestly, and just complete that event in one day, and then put a video up about it. That's the plan I have right now. I just hate, that process of getting them to do that, and it's just awful. It takes forever, and I'm someone who just cannot miss out on an event. I must get everything. I mean everything. I will work my fingers sore and do everything I can to make sure, without spending any real cash, that I complete the event and win the ultimate prize. I've never failed at an event at all, and I don't spend money on events. I work terribly hard spinning that wheel. I become obsessed. Anyway, so yeah, and it's not because I have that many Sims that I finish the event on time, because as you know now, you can't have more than the required amount of stands, for jewelries and for pots and for glass making and candle making. So I just get really vicious with it, and I complete on time. But one of the ways I do that now is by using my social points, and that's why I keep building them up. For my simoleons, I have life orbs. Now, as I said before, you do realize I'm going over subjects that I have done before, and that is because there are newcomers to the channel, so I have to touch on these points as many times as I can as possible, just to help out. You can imagine me putting this whole information about social points, life points, and simoleons in a comment. There'll be no space left. So this is the only way I can do it, by casually talking about these subject matters during live builds. So yeah, simoleons I get from glitching orbs, and again I keep getting comments saying that the glitch for the life orbs are not working, but they are, I promise you they are. And I'm not going to be able to put out videos again and again of the same thing, just like the how I make simoleons and so on. I can't keep putting out the same video, but I promise you it's working. Maybe it has to do with your device type or something, but I promise you, just the other day I was able to empty out my sporty life orbs and then do the glitch to get 65,000 life orbs, and it worked. So my device is not jailbroken in any way. I don't fool around with my devices that way, not at all. Everything is just legit, so it works. You just have to follow the steps and it should work. And I'm really sorry if it isn't working for you, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to understand or identify why it isn't working for you at this time. But yeah, that's how I get that much simoleons. And after working it out, I think I have about 60 to 70 billion simoleons if I sold all the simoleons that I have at the moment, and that's a lot of simoleons. Okay, that's a lot of simoleons. So I'm sure that I won't be needing to have to worry about making errors while building, or buying houses off the architect tab because of the unique items in them, and so on and so forth. So that's how it's basically an unlimited amount of simoleons that I have. So now we are done with putting windows and doors where they go on this property, and we are now going to place down the pool. For those of you obviously who want to put down the exact pool that I had on the beach mansion, I am going to do that here. But for most of you, you might go on to create something else at the backyard, maybe an enormous outdoor eating area or outdoor living space, who knows. But what you see here is I have some red markings on the floor, and that's because there are some structures down below in the basement. They will not allow for me to build a pool unless I go down and delete them. I use those structures to do some of the glitches. So when I run out of space on the main land of the plot, I go into the basement to do the glitches, and it works. Maybe I should put out a video on that on how I do glitching in the basement. You can do anything in the basement and then bring it up and place it where you want on the actual plot level. Another popular request is for duplication glitches, which I haven't been able to come up with. I've tried different things. I've gone on YouTube, I've seen other channels, and right now no one has been able to come up with how to duplicate items ever since the patio glitch was removed. So that's a tough one. There is no glitching yet that I know of anyway that allows for you to duplicate items, and that would have been fantastic, especially for unique items that we've been able to collect, maybe from architect homes and so on. So nothing yet on that. Now this is a complete beach house build for you all, and you can see why placing the windows in a particular way is important. And I think, yes, I remember that we had to place a window there. I had forgotten that while building, so I think eventually, yes, I go on to place a window right there. So everything in this house now is exactly as it was in the live tour. All you have to do is change up the wallpaper, the flooring, the bedrooms layout, and whatever it is that you want to do with the structure that you have now. Right now I'm working on Lendi Empire episode 5, and Cinderella will come down the line much later. But yes, do stay tuned, and if you haven't watched the first episodes, by all means go to the Sims 4 playlist and watch it. And there's a Cinderella playlist as well on the channel, so check it out too, and get up to date with the series so that you're ready for the next episode. So, ta-da, house is ready. I hope you like it. Oh, and most importantly, I hope your Sims enjoy living here too. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.